Russ is my name. Hi, everybody, Russ of the West End Network. Hope you're safe and well from you end here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it, as always. Maybe you want to subscribe, give it a comment, give it a like. All that good stuff is all well appreciated. It's news at 10 o'clock UK time. Obviously, other times will vary. But what we try and do at the news at 10 is give you some quick news items that maybe we didn't have time to talk about earlier on in the day. 3 stories, 3 more transfer rumour stories. As I said, it seems the last, maybe the Nottingham Forest game has given journalists false hope that we're going to be buying loads of players or recruiting players. And so there's been loads, a raft of transfer rumours coming up. We haven't even had time to talk about the fact that Kenny Brown's been given the permanent academy job. We haven't spoken about the under-18s who have thumped Spurs 3-1 on Saturday morning, and they've been drawn at home in the semi-finals against either Southampton or Preston North End. Venue to be decided on that soon. We find out who we're going to be playing in the semi-finals on Thursday. And we haven't even spoken about Oggy, who wants to sign a new deal at West Ham, and apparently we're waiting, I think, probably waiting a few more weeks until we know definitely we're staying up before we start discussing contracts with those who are out of contract in the summer, and obviously Oggy being one of them, and Soufal, I think. But I think we've got options on a lot of these players anyway. So let's talk about these transfer ins. Let's start with the thumbnail. Olivier Giroud. So apparently, according to several sources, apparently the AC Milan striker Olivier Giroud is wanting to come back to London, and he's been linked with a move to the London Stadium ahead of the summer. According to The Sun, the World Cup winning Frenchman is keen for a move to another London club, obviously not having featured for both Arsenal and Chelsea. So there's only a few he can really sign for, in all honesty. He's 36 now, but he's still proving his worth in Italy with the Rizzori. And he's said to be keen on a move back to London. Obviously, won the World Cup, scored some important goals in Qatar for France. So that narrows it down. If he's played for Arsenal, plays for Chelsea, he's not going to go Spurs. So it's West Ham, Crystal Palace, Fulham or Brentford are said to be possible destinations. He will be available on a free transfer as his contract at the San Siro is set to expire at the end of the summer. And he could be a potential answer for David Moyes, with the potential of maybe Michail Antonio moving on. He could come in and obviously not be first choice, but would definitely be someone you could bring on, give you a different option. But he's 36, so not really Red Bull model. But I think the Red Bull model works when you have to bring in some experience as well. And if we lose someone like Antonio, who's been at the club since 2015, a World Cup winner, experience in playing in Europe, experience playing at the top flight, maybe at the use of one, maybe. Speaking of Italian players who are Premier League players, went to Italy and are looking to come back. Another one is this man, Chris Smalling. And apparently we hold an interest in him, according to, again, a recent report. It was reported in the January transfer window that was looking to sign players of the ilk of, Michael Keane and those sort of replacements for the experience of Craig Dawson, which we lost. Obviously, we only signed Louis Zhao in that position. And he still is obviously developing. So we know Moyes will definitely be in their market for another central defender. Maybe not necessarily a first choice central defender, but someone who could complement the ranks of central defence. According to a report from 90 Minutes, West Ham are one of several clubs in the Premier League looking to bring in Chris Smalling. There's us playing Fulham, Everton, Leicester. He's currently obviously playing in Italy. He's been playing very well in Italy. He has an option to renew for 1 year and a 1 year contract on his current deal at Roma, but he's looking also potentially coming back to the UK, coming back to the Premier League. He's 6'4", and he's a big lad. And obviously Moyes would have played. He was under Moyes when during Moyes' ill-fated tenure at Man United, so he knows what he's going to bring. I mean, he was a colossus in Roma's recent 2-0 home triumph against RB Salzburg. Dominates in the air. You think about, someone like Craig Dawson, he's that ilk really, but a bit more height than Craig. Be interesting to see. Obviously, he also then played for Roma against Hellas Verona at the weekend, where they won 1-0 as well. There's no doubting, maybe Oggie's 35 this year. In May, he's 33, so maybe a 2-year deal, maybe. Again, doesn't really fit the Red Bull model, but maybe he's there and can bring on the likes of Luis Al. We were linked with the Bayern Leverkusen centre half. We spoke about that at Hammers Headlines today. So it's a balancing act, I think, definitely. So keep an eye out on him, and we never know. It might be a reunion for Davy Moyes. And finally, another Italian club linked player in the Lecce captain, Morten Hjulmand. And apparently we're looking to sign him, according to a report from my favourite media outlet, Calcio Mercato, who claim that West Ham are set to battle the likes of Brighton and Leeds for the 23-year-old signature. It's alleged that he'll be available for around 17 million quid in the summer, and that's according to Calcio Mercato as well. We know we've spoken about it at Hammers Headlines. Declan Rice obviously coming through. In terms of the summer, he's more likely to go than stay. And looking at what we can do to bring or reinvest that money into the squad, and obviously a replacement. We spoke about Milenkovic-Savic, who could be the big name replacement potentially, but he won't take up all that money from Declan Rice. I would suggest you could then look at the opportunity to maybe upgrade the likes of Thomas Souček. And we spoke about Anton Schlark, who could be a potential one from Mans. But Morten could also be one potentially. He's, as I said, the Lecce skipper. So again, he's got that captaincy, quite an early age, very similar to Declan Rice. He's 6'2", so slightly taller than Dec. He's big, he's powerful. He's a very sort of impressive, imposing athlete. So far, he's got 4 assists in 21 games for Lecce. He's likes to tackle. He's got some impressive stats in terms of his career this summer or this season. I think you would need, if he was just signed as the Declan Rice replacement, I think we'd all be a bit, oh shit. But actually him with someone like Milenkovic-Savic would be a good replacement, I think, for Declan Rice, or it would be 2 people replacing 1 man. But you know what I mean? Plus the likes of Flynn Downs available as well. Lucas Paqueta, Fornals. You've got lots of people who can play that position. I think Morten could be an interesting, and again, slightly under the radar a little bit as well. And for 17 million quid, I think it's a really good, if we can get it for 17 million, about 20 million euro, I think that's a really good deal for him. But again, we'll wait and see. But as I said, there's been a raft of transfer rumours this week, this last few days for sure. And the only way you keep on top of everything is by subscribing to the West Ham Network and hitting the bell notification so you don't miss any time we bring you the latest news. That's what we try and do. We aggregate all the news that's been speaking about all over the place and bringing it into one place for you, your go-to news outlet. Not really, but you know what I mean. So sweet dreams for us in the UK. We'll be back tomorrow and starting all the stuff, all the content all ready for the Man United game on Wednesday in the Cup. And then after that, then it's back to our friends over at Leeds. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, come on you irons, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care.